Hey everyone, Dr. Greg here. Welcome to the Redwoods in California. Pretty amazing. Good spot because this is obviously so easy to be healthy here and so beautiful and inspiring. And the reason why I wanted to come to you right now with this video is there's been a discovery that has been made that enables humans to live longer, to reduce their risk of osteoporosis, of Alzheimer's, of cardiovascular disease, of cancer. This reverses type 2 diabetes. It decreases depression. It lowers your risk of anxiety. It's incredible. Did you get it? The drug is exercise. And exercise does all of these things. Now, what's wild about that and what I just said to you is that if we had a drug that did all of that, we would consider it to be the greatest discovery of all time. It would be, I'm just gonna step into the sun here so you can see me. There we go. It'd be like the greatest discovery of all time. We would be hailing this as a triumph of science. Yet we know that exercise does all of these things. And the cool thing is that you don't really need to work out that much. Like you can cut your risk of 13 different types of cancer by 24 to 40% by going for a 15-minute walk. The magic though, the difference is that it has to be consistent. You have to take this drug forever. You have to try to take this drug as often as you can. Exercise, physical activity, training. And so what I have for you in this video are 7 tips that I believe will help you to exercise more often, to exercise more effectively, to get more physical activities. So that's it for now. I'm gonna pause here, head into the gym, and we'll talk more about 7 tips to improve your physical activity, exercise, and training. All right, see you soon in the gym. All right, just on the way to the gym, I realized I should tell you about tip number 1. And tip number 1 is what I'm doing right now. Just simply get more steps. Now, we did all of this research at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto on the various different types of exercise and how they can help children with different diseases like cancer, various different heart diseases and illnesses, lupus, inflammatory conditions, and they were all great. The exercise works, strength training works, cardio works. They're all beneficial with some caveats, of course, to the specific diseases, but in general, they all help. But when the kids went off the training programs, they stopped exercising. So it didn't really help at the end of the day. What we did discover though, and what Dr. Jane Schneiderman discovered, combing through a decade of research, was that the kids who had the most steps, the most general habitual physical activity, were the ones who did the best across almost every single different disease. Now that is true for kids, that's true for adults, that's true for people with chronic illness, but it's also true when it comes to overall health and well-being. The amount of general habitual physical activity that we get is one of the most important things that we can do to elevate our health and wellness. It improves our mental health, emotional health, physical health, prevents chronic disease, improves learning. So if there was only one thing for you to do, the one tactic that I believe is going to make a huge difference for you, it would be to simply increase your general habitual physical activity. How do you measure that? Most of us are now wearing a device of some kind or with a phone, and you can measure that in terms of your steps. So just simply get more steps. That's tip number 1. All right, on to the gym. Hey everyone. So key number 1 to building up your health and wellness through movement, through physical activity is cardio. And there's lots of debate, like is it cardio, is it weights or whatever. The reality is that all beneficial. It's all beneficial. And however, the various different types of exercise are all beneficial in different ways. Cardiovascular training, walk, run, jog, swim, bike, paddle, Stairmaster, whatever, rowing machine, where you elevate your heart rate and you keep it elevated for a long period of time. That improves your heart, your lungs, your blood, and your nervous system specifically. So that's very much the foundation of what we want to be doing when it comes to our overall health and well-being. Now, whether it's easy cardio, hard cardio, whether it's intervals, it doesn't really matter because 85% of the population doesn't get enough physical activity to prevent a chronic disease. So anything counts. If you're just getting started, go for a walk for 5 minutes and build from there. If you've already been training for a while, maybe you want to be building in some intervals. But in general, the key thing here is we want to be doing some form of sustained elevated heart rate type exercise to build up your heart, your lungs, your blood, and your nervous system. All right, that's tactic number one. Build up your fitness. The way to do that, cardiovascular exercise. Hey everyone, all right, here's key number two. Can you see it? There it is. Flexibility. Basically anything where you are stretching. Now there's a couple types of stretching that are the reason why everyone gets confused about stretching. One of them is static stretching. So you put your muscles on hold and you leave them on stretch for a period of time, usually 10, 15, 20 seconds, until those muscles start to relax and you feel them lengthen. And that's a great type of stretching, really does help. It's really great for turning the nervous system off and to help you to recover and to regenerate. I love doing that type of stretching at the end of my workout and at the end of the day. It's really fantastic. Second type of stretching is called dynamic stretching. And that's stuff like arm swings, lunges, squats, sun salutations in yoga. Basically moving your body through a range of motion where there's a little bit of a stretch at the beginning and the end. You're pushing the limits of what you can do in terms of mobility around various different joints. That's fantastic to do before your workout begins as part of your warm-up or as a workout in and of itself if you're thinking about yoga, Tai Chi, and Qigong, for example, which are all absolutely incredible for you. On days when I'm tired, my workouts are stretching, and that's totally fine. It is more important the older that we get, and it's critical for us when it comes to helping us to calm down at the end of the day and deactivate our nervous system. So I'm a big fan of stretching. Just find a spot on the floor there, and if you want to do it in front of the television, that's totally fine. And if you want to learn more about this, I've got a video out on it called To Stretch or Not to Stretch. So you can search that, Greg Wells, To Stretch or Not to Stretch, and you'll find that video. But flexibility and mobility, that's key number two. Hey everyone, welcome to the weights section of the gym. And this is where we can get into key number three, which is to build your strength. Obviously, this is hugely important. It's also an area that a lot of people neglect. Actually, it's not a lot of people. Some people love cardio, some people love weights. The reality is that they are both good for you. Cardio builds up your heart, lungs, blood, and your type 1 muscle fibers, your endurance muscle fibers. Strength training, lifting weights, doing yoga, gardening, housework, even Qigong and Tai Chi. These types of exercises build up your type 2 muscle fibers, which are a little bit thicker and stronger. They help you to develop force. Now, the way that we build up those muscle fibers is that we put our muscles under tension. We put them under resistance against the floor, gravity, your body weight, or weights if you want to use some resistance training and to do that. So I think this is huge. The reason why is because it builds up a completely different set of muscle fibers in your body. There's very compelling evidence that your strength is associated with longevity, how long you live without a chronic disease. When we do exercise training like lifting weights, it produces a molecule inside of our bodies called mTOR, which is associated with how long we live without a chronic disease. So if you want to have a long health span, this is really, really important for us. So this is key number 3, one of the other elements that you can add to your routine in order to build up your overall wellness. Strength training, resistance training, yoga, housework, gardening, all work to build up your strength. Hey everyone, Dr. Greg here, sitting next to the most evil piece of fitness equipment ever invented. I call it the devil's cycle, but it's basically just a wind cycle. And it is used in sprint training. Basically, it is used in a lot of workouts where you're really driving your heart rate up, and it does not feel very good. And it doesn't feel very good because it is intense. And that is the next key to health and wellness when it comes to building up our capacity to move more, and that is to build your speed. Interval training, spin workouts, running up hills, climbing stairs. Anything where we are really elevating our heart rate and producing energy using our anaerobic system, which breaks down sugars. And then there's some metabolites that are produced, including lactate, hydrogen ions, potassium, that make us breathe really, really hard. And we feel that as our muscles burning. It's pretty uncomfortable sometimes, but it is the next level that we can get to when we're talking about building up our overall health and well-being through fitness. The reason why it's so important is because that type of work, just like strength training, activates our type 2 muscle fibers. It also appears to be particularly beneficial for our brain. The lactate molecule appears to stimulate BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, to help our brains function a little bit better. It's also just incredibly effective. There's loads of research from McMaster University that shows that short bouts of interval training are just as, if not more, effective than longer bouts of cardio training for building up our fitness and things like VO2 max. So definitely something that you want to think about. So those are the 4 big pieces of the puzzle. I talked about taking steps, but I also talked about cardio, talked about flexibility, talked about force through strength training, and then speed, of course. Those are the 4 F's of fitness. Fitness, flexibility, force, and fast. And that's this one here. You just have to go fast. Go fast every once in a while. It's okay. It does not feel very good sometimes, but boy, does it get you fit quickly. Hey everyone, Dr. Greg here. The gym's amazing. So many things to do. Often people who are super psyched up and motivated to train, so it's a positive environment. Cardio equipment, mobility work, strength and conditioning stuff, all absolutely fantastic. Now, while training in the gym is awesome, the other thing that is absolutely fantastic is training outdoors. Because when we go for walks on trails like this one, whoops, right there, and we run in that type of an environment, like, so many different things are happening. It's not just your cardiovascular system that's getting trained, you're inhaling all the molecules from the trees. And there's loads of research that shows that exercising in nature is like an amplifier for your health and well-being. And that's not just physical health and well-being, it's also your mental health and well-being as well. As I stand next to this generator, there we go, that's a lot nicer view. So every once in a while I would ask you to consider doing a green workout, which is working out outside, a blue workout, which is working out in water. That could be paddling or swimming. A yellow workout, which involves training on the beach. All of these are incredible options for us. Maybe they happen on your vacation. Maybe you're fortunate enough to live near a park. Perhaps there's a lake nearby, or even better, an ocean. These are all places where it's very easy for us to feel good when we are exercising because we're outdoors. There's fresh air, there's changing environments from a visual perspective. We're inhaling phytoncides, which increase the strength and capacity of our immune systems. And there's loads of research that shows that exercising in nature is better for our overall mental health. So don't be afraid to get outside. If you want to take it to another level and really push it, leave the technology at home. You're going to be okay. And you'll probably enjoy yourself a lot more and be a lot more present. All right, that's it. Go for a walk. Maybe I'll see you out on that trail. The last key that I have for you when it comes to health and wellness and moving more and overall fitness as I sit here between 2 treadmills on the floor of the gym is simply this. I'd like you to think of yourself as a 24-hour athlete. We're learning more and more that, yeah, sure, it's great what you do when you're here in the gym. It's phenomenal what you do when you're out for the run or when you're at work or whatever it is that you do at a high level. That is all amazing. The magic, though, when it comes to your fitness, your health, your well-being, is to start to consider it as just who you are. This is who you are. And as a result, it's what you think about, it's what you do all day long. And of course, the gym is great. When you're out here in the gym, you're doing things, that's awesome. But drinking water after your workout elevates everything. Eating healthy food to support your body's adaptation to the training makes a huge difference. Doing the meditation that's required to settle the mind, to bring stillness to your mind and your body makes a difference. And when we think of ourselves as 24-hour athletes, it enables us to make progress all of the time. And I'm saying you need to work out 24 hours a day. I'm just saying that when we think of ourselves as a 24-hour athlete, It helps us to do the little things right all day long. Sleep well, eat well, think well, move well. And all of these different pieces of the puzzle then become exponential amplifiers for each other to elevate everything that we're doing to bring our health, fitness, and well-being to another level. So hope that idea resonates with you. Anything counts. Every single little bit counts. Every little bit that you do is going to make a difference. All right, everyone, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey everyone, I know I've done a lot of videos about just being generally active, getting your steps in. Easy workouts are important too. Just out hiking, filming some videos, climbed up those stairs and going up that way. So in this case, I am actually going uphill, breathing a little bit harder, which means I'm activating type 2 muscle fibers. Those type 2 fibers are super important because they are what keep us strong. They're what help us to deal with life. They produce mTOR, which is a molecule that protects us against various different chronic diseases. So as much as habitual physical activity, super important. Easy cardio, super important. The other thing that's important is not to be afraid of getting out and doing a little bit of exercise that causes you to breathe a little bit harder. Dr. Robert Good, who was on my master's committee, unfortunately passed away a while ago. But one of his major pieces of research was the talk test, where if you're doing exercise where you can carry on a conversation, that's great. That's light aerobic cardio, super important. Exercise where you can hear yourself breathe, kind of like what I'm doing right now, going up and down these hills leading back to the conference center, super important. But that's where we begin to activate type 2s and our anaerobic system. And then another level beyond that is when you're exercising to the point where you can no longer carry on a conversation. That's when you're in the anaerobic zone, having positive benefits of anaerobic metabolism, production of lactic acid, activation of BDNF inside the brain, all sorts of other things like that. So various different levels, 3 specifically, easy, moderate, and hard. Although I talk a lot about the easy stuff because I think it's the foundation and it's accessible and most people don't do anything, so it's better than nothing. It is also important for us to get up and do things that are a little bit harder, that actually cause us to breathe, cause us to sweat, make us a little bit uncomfortable, produce a little bit of lactate, produce a little bit of potassium, and get all of those benefits as well. All right, I'm gonna carry on. Hope you're well. Hope that video is helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in below. Try some intervals, try some hills, try something that's a little bit uncomfortable to the point where you can hear yourself breathe. See you in the next video. Yeah, tuning in and learning about movement in the gym here. And that's really what this is all about. This is all about move more. It's all about stretching, building up some cardiovascular fitness, getting crazy strong, building up some speed on the evil devil cycle, and maybe even doing it outside in the redwood forest of California, where I happen to be right now. As you can tell, I'm pretty happy about that. But when we build up all of these different capacities of our fitness, our health improves, our well-being improves, and our ability to perform at whatever it is that we care about the most also improves. Whether that's teaching, whether that's coaching, any aspect of business, science, medicine, it all benefits from being in better shape. So build this into your life, everyone. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm honored that you're still here at this part of the video, and greetings from the gym. We'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below or on social. All right, take care, everyone. Move more.